Hey guys, this is Miss Mo. We're on test 3 review, number 9. It says find the additive inverse. Okay, additive inverse means opposites. And the reason it means opposites is because opposites add to the number 0. So it's asking, what can I add to this p plus q to give me a 0? Well, to make that p zero out, I have to have a negative p to add to it. To get this q to 0 out, I have to add a negative q to it. So the only one that has a negative on the p and the q is D. Okay, let's keep going. Number 10. This is just a parentheses 5 with a negative outside. And when that happens, the negative distributes inside and we just get negative 5. For number 11, it's different because there's 2 negatives. So it's like those 2 negatives, when they're right beside each other, they make a plusative. And this just turns out to be plusative 10. See? Yeah. Okay, so if the negatives are right beside each other, you can turn them into a positive. If there's a parentheses in the way, that's okay. They still turn to a positive. Okay, let's look at number 7. There's an absolute value. It says absolute value -7. Well, remember, absolute value is the number of units or number of tick marks away from 0. So how many tick marks do you think this number is going to be away from 0? 27? No, probably just 7. Yep, that's it. Yeah. Okay, and another way to think of it is once you get one single number in the bars, you make it positive. So every time you have a number come out of the absolute value bars, it's going to be positive. Now, if there was a negative hanging out in front of the bars, then it would change. But for now, right now, we just have capital A. I mean, 7 as in answer choice A. Okay, if we look at the next one, it has those bars that I was talking about with a negative on the outside. Okay, first, we just said that when there's a single number in your absolute value bars, it becomes a positive. Yay! Positive 10, and that would be the answer, positive 10, if I didn't have this negative sitting outside. But because I have this negative sitting outside, now I have to apply it. So the 10, the red 10, came from the negative 10. It spits out positive. Then the negative in front of the bars gets applied. So our answer is D. Okay, let's look at number 14. You can probably do this in your head, but -1 minus 15, those are both negatives. So you add them up in your head, 16, and you keep the sign, negative. Okay, number 15, if we have 2 negatives in a row, and we do, right in the middle, they become a positive. It's okay that there's a parentheses splitting them up. That's legal. Okay, so we get -8 plus 11, and hey, that just says -8 plus 1. I can't read. Apology. So that just makes -7. B. All right, let's look at number 16. First, I'm going to look for a double negative. And hot diggity, there she is. Right before that, 3. So this makes -2 plus open parentheses -19. And then this double -3 just makes +3. Okay, and then let's see what we have left over. All we have left over is subtraction and addition. And if you remember from PEMDAS, if you only have addition and subtraction left, you don't have to do all the add first, then the subtract. You can do it all at once, left to right. So that's what I'm going to do here. From left to right, -2 plus another -19. That makes an even bigger negative, -21. And then bring down that +3. And -21 plus 3 is -18. So B, go base side. All right, another one. well, I can't really see this, but it says -8 plus bracket. And these weird square brackets serve the same purpose that a parentheses does. It's just, instead of putting two parentheses right beside each other, they put a bracket to kind of show, hey, this is where the business starts. So that bracket is just like another parentheses. Nothing crazy. Okay, so first, PEMDAS says we have to do parentheses. And when it comes to PEMDAS, P can be parentheses. P can be brackets. Or we could even have these things called braces. So all of this is P for PEMDAS. So we need to take care of anything that's inside these first. So that's his bracket junk. Well, let's go for it. First, I see a double negative. There's a parentheses in the middle of it, but it's okay. That is totally legal. Then I see this -19, but with nothing in front of it. It's kind of like there's a pretend 1 in front of it. And 1 times -19 is -19. Okay, then that double negative on the 10 made a plus. So let's go ahead and do that math. -19 plus 10 is -9. And that's what all of this was. So all of that was -9. The only thing we haven't touched is this -8 plus sign. So -8 plus sign -9 is, when they're both negative, you add them up and it becomes an even bigger negative. So -17, C. Okay, let's look at 18. It says Linda had $176 in her checking account. Yay, Linda. And she wrote a check for $32. Darn. So that means we have to subtract. Okay, so that makes $144. Then she wrote another check of $18. $18 worth of Taco Bell. Delicious. Okay, then we subtract it and we get, I think that's $126. Yes. So, trickery dickory. Look at C. It looks like C is the right answer because it has $126. But pay attention to the signs. What I just did here, another way to write this is to say that you have $176, but then there was a check that went into your account or that was withdrawn from your account. And when you say a check is withdrawn, it's like you're adding a -32 because it was withdrawn. If we were depositing it, I'd put like a +32. Then we're going to add the other check. Oh, but it was $18 and it was withdrawn. So -$18. So make sure on your test you pick the answer choice that has a plus then a negative number inside the parentheses. Okay, so make sure you choose that plus a negative number. If you accidentally chose the other one, I'll probably still give you partial credit because I'm desperate. Okay, on number 19, it says 0 divided by -12. Well, anytime we have 0 on top and a number on bottom, that just spits out 0. Yay! A. But vice versa, if you have a number on top over 0, like number 20, that gives you undefined. The limit does not exist? Yeah, undefined. So anytime there's a 0 on bottom, it's undefined. Even if you had 0 over 0, you probably did that in your homework, that's still undefined. Okay, anyway, so A. Let's go to 21. 21 says Sergey averages 14 miles per gallon of gasoline in his car. 14 miles per gallon. Per means multiply. And then we're supposed to multiply it with the gallons. I don't know if I spelled that right. I don't care. Okay, so per gallon of gasoline in his car, how far can he travel if he had 12 gallons? Okay, well, 1 gallon is 14 miles. So if I want 12 gallons, I'm just going to multiply 12 and 14. And yeah, see, exciting. So no division there, nothing crazy. Let's keep going. Number 22, it says Tom earned $45 a week. And then it says, how much has he earned in the last 5 weeks? Well, if it's 45 for 1 week, we just multiply that times 5. And we get 225. C. Okay, let's look at number 23. Number 23 says write a fraction. Okay, good. So let's see how many total pieces there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So that's going to go on the bottom. And then the shaded is going to go on the top. And that looks like 5/6. Okay, on your test, if you could reduce, then do it. Yeah, just do it. So if you can reduce, do it. On your test, make sure the shapes are equal lengths. And what I mean by that is something like this. Yeah. Okay, so let's say 2 of these long ones were shaded. Okay, well, the answer is not 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not 2 over 8 because these pieces are not the same size. So we did shade 2, but you have to think to yourself, how many of these size rectangles are there? Well, there's definitely 3 on this second row. But if I were to chop up this first row according to the rectangles, I would just have 3 more rectangles. I don't know why I shaded that one in. I shouldn't have. So anyway, the bottom number for total isn't the total amount of pieces. It's the total amount of pieces that are the same size. So on this pizza slice, all the slices were the same size, so we could just put 6 underneath. But on this sucker, all the squares were not the same size, so we had to redo the total. And we said if there's 3 of these big boys on bottom, that must mean 3 of these big boys on top, so 6. Oh, and then reduce 1 over 3. So on your test, be careful. Don't forget to reduce if you can, and be careful that the pictures might not be the same size. Okay, let's look at 24. 24 says, find the requested fraction. Okay, so there's 2 ways we can do this. We can either ask ourselves what multiplies with 16 to get 96, or we could throw an X in that question mark and do cross multiply and divide. So 5 times 96 is, oh gosh, 480. And then x times 16 is 16x. Then divide by 16. And we should get 16, 32, 48. X equals 30. But the question wasn't asking for what's that question mark on the top. It's asking for the whole fraction. So 30 over, what were we over? 96. So it's not asking for the reduced piece, it's asking for before you reduce it.